And we believe, and we're seeing this happen, that we can unleash human capability and we can reduce struggle and suffering for people through a human-to-human relationship, non-clinical, completely human-oriented, using technology for good and driving it through the ecosystem of capitalism and through employers to help people understand. That's what we're doing. Imagine search through Google, but you're talking to real people. How many of you at some point of your life have said, I wish I knew then what I know now? I would imagine every single one of us. The concept of trauma, we talked about mental health, we talked about life experiences, and what this venture, what we call LifeGuides, as I mentioned earlier, is building. And on a simple level, we are unlocking human wisdom, empathy, love at scale in a for-profit model, so you can connect with someone who's in the exact moment that you need when you need them, right? So the idea of, think of a technology interface in the likes of an Airbnb, right? Where you go on, you filter for a vacation experience or a property, and you see profiles of beautiful homes and different experiences. Now imagine that same concept, transferring our stories, our experiences, our wisdom in a way that serves other people and helps other people. And at the same time, that mutuality pays itself back to help you, right? So the idea, think of the idea of you're an employee and you say, you know what, I have a caregiving need. I don't know what it's like to care for a loved one with dementia. I'm going to go onto this platform and I'm going to filter based on profiles of people that we have vetted and screened and crowdsourced their experiences. And you can see their profiles. You can find a mom or a dad or an aunt or an uncle, whoever the person is that has that experience of caring for that loved one with dementia. And you can book through our platform a confidential session and have a conversation via video or phone or text about that situation. How do I navigate the healthcare facility? How do I navigate reimbursement? How do I handle the conversation that my loved one is sundowning and I don't know what to do? How do I manage the stress of my time and my financial resources with the fact that I also have a young family, right? So maybe you want to go on as a parent and you're saying, I have a teenager and I'm not sure how to handle this teenager as well as the newborn that might have just entered my family. Let's talk to another parent who's been through that experience and they now have healthy, happy children. Or it could be that you've been promoted in a new job and you've moved across the country. You're getting settled in that city. You want to build a network of friends and get plugged into that community. Talk to someone who's done that. Or maybe it's someone who's been through the military and they're now transitioning into civilian life. You can go on there and talk to someone who's been through that journey. I could go on and on and on about the topics professionally, personally, relationally, emotionally, chronic health, you name it. The topic is in there. Imagine search through Google, but you're talking to real people. And they can be that more casual than therapy, more qualified than a friend type of person. And then we integrate that experience into clinical services. We integrate those services into caregiver resources. We integrate it into trauma-informed opportunities. We integrate it into practical needs. And we do this through the employer network and outside of the traditional health insurance and reimbursement models. It's all funded through employers or through people directly. So we're changing the entire incentive model around it. Now, last and foremost, all of you could be a guide. And that's why this is so relevant. We're unlocking the guide in everyone. Every single person in this room has a story. What makes you you, what's forged your character. You have those experiences, those challenges that are meant to be shared to help other people. And so all of you have amazing educations, careers, backgrounds, stories. You can come onto the platform and you can help someone else in that situation. And we have built a framework for how we validate that and provide a whole slew of incentives around that, not just financially, but educationally, through community, through healing, through support networks, through tying into nonprofits that are different causes. So for example, we recruit from alumni networks, we recruit from veterans organizations, we recruit from caregiver networks like the Alzheimer's Association. The integration of nonprofit and for-profit dollars, bringing that together for the purpose of one-to-one support is ultimately what we're doing at scale. And we believe, and we're seeing this happen, that we can unleash human capability and we can reduce struggle and suffering for people through a human-to-human relationship. Like I said, non-clinical, completely human-oriented, using technology for good and driving it through the ecosystem of capitalism and through employers to help people on demand. That's what we're doing.